recent release of the Epstein files, we have been seeing a ton of other conspiracy theories surrounding the Jewish people. As I mentioned, one from a week or so ago was the idea that Jesus was not himself a Jew. But a second one that's even larger than this is one called the Jewish blood libel. The Jewish blood libel is an anti-Semitic accusation of the Jews, and the idea of this conspiracy is that these Jewish people ritually sacrifice Christian children, or some like to just say Gentile children in general, particularly at Passover, to obtain blood for unleavened bread. One of the earliest sources we have on an idea of this is from medieval Europe in the 12th century, in the case of a murdered English boy named William of Norwich. Despite the absurdity of the accusation by a clergyman of this day, it ignores the explicit prohibition in Judaism against the consumption of blood. It was revived sporadically in a lot of Eastern and Central Europe throughout the medieval times and even in modern times. And this certainly led to an insane amount of persecution against the Jewish people. Murder and all kinds of other atrocities that were put onto these Jewish people. The William of Norwich story is important as well, as again today we're seeing so many people spout this myth that Jeffrey Epstein himself was a part of these rituals or these activities with the Jews, that Jeffrey Epstein and a big global elitist group are doing this right now. So it's quite a thing to say. Particularly, this comes within the myth of adrenochrome, that there's this thing called adrenochrome, which is certainly a particular substance, but people are attempting to say that this is being extracted from children and then put into people's bodies, which no scientist agrees that this is even so. It's a synthetic substance that can be made by hand. Is this what it means to be synthetic? There's absolutely no reason for anybody to extract it from a child whatsoever. And it's also shown in the scientific literature that it has no health benefits whatsoever. So it's a bit of a weird thing. But again, people with the Epstein files are clinging to these particular conspiracy theories that the Jewish people are a part of this. And this is why I brought up the story of William of Norwich, because this is quite literally where these things really start to happen. And then they've expounded further from some fiction books in the 1970s. Now, the allegation that the Jews engage in human sacrifice does predate even more than just William of Norwich. In a treaty against Apion, the Jewish historian Josephus recounts and refutes a slanderous claim propagated by Apion, a Greek sophist of Alexandria. And he is telling of a Greek child being prepared for a ritual sacrifice in the temple of Jerusalem. And this is a fabrication that appears to originate in earlier Hellenistic sources, possibly from the 2nd century BC, but there's some debate among scholars on this. This myth that Josephus tells is very similar to that of Norwich. So for a very long time we've seen this happen to the Jewish people, particularly when Christianity emerged, though it spread in the first centuries of the CE, Common Era, and it portrayed itself as a supersession of Judaism. And there was a lot of Christians that had a lot of really odd issues with Jews, a lot of anti-Semitism within the Christian communities in the early 1st, 2nd century, and certainly as the William of Norwich story provides us as well. We could see enmity toward the Jews, and it was expressed through a lot of church teachers. We see St. Augustine in the 4th century to Martin Luther in the 16th. Some of the most eloquent and persuasive Christian theologians really had weird views about the Jews as rebels against God and murderers of the Lord. They were described as companions of the devil and a race of vipers. Particularly in scriptural readings for Good Friday of the crucifixion, contributed to this. So you can see a long line of this throughout here. Christian society began as a process of reorganization in the year 1000, and this exacerbated the marginalization of Jews as well as other groups. And going back to the Norwich story, again, the one of the earliest ones that we see, particularly there was a monk in the city's brand of a new cathedral, and he began promoting pilgrimage to the burial site of William of Norwich, a young boy who was found dead in 1144 on Holy Saturday. According to Thomas's hagiographical account of William's life, the boy was brutally murdered with his stage wounds on his head, arms, and torsos. The boy's uncle, a priest, accused local Jews of the murder, and the rumor spread that the Jews crucified a child, a Christian child, particularly every year at Passover. This is a disgusting lie that too many people today are falling for again. And the reason I'm making this video is so that people do not fall for this same stupid myth that started with Christians. And as a clergyman, a pastor myself, I am begging people not to fall for this stupid idea. Thank you for watching though. Like and subscribe for more content like this, and let me know what you think of this story below.